Glad to have you along. It's Wednesday. Breaking out some of our Christmas music. Gee, I wonder if this one's going to get banned from the airwaves. Well, the incoming congressperson from New York, Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, has absolutely no grasp on reality whatsoever. And I could literally make her the twit of the day every day. The problem is that's only going to draw people to her. So what I'm going to have to actually start doing is breaking down and showing you just how absolutely incredibly stupid, unprepared, and unfit she actually is for public office. Now, despite some of the obvious that she doesn't even know the three branches of government, the three branches of government, the House of Representatives, the Senate, and the judges. No. Recently, she was on CNN being interviewed by Jake the Tap Tapper. And, of course, Alexandria Ocasio Cortez wants to be Santa Claus. Most liberal progressives do. Bernie Sanders, they just want to give stuff away. And they never want to explain how you pay for it. And Jake the Tap Tapper, obviously, he's been given the signal by the DNC. On the one hand, publicly, they want to the DNC wants to make it seem like they're embracing the Alexandras and welcoming them into the Democratic Party because they think that will somehow assuage the far progressive left and keep them in the fold. But behind closed doors, trust me, they don't want Alexandra gaining any real control of anything because it'll mean the end of them, the DNC. See, the DNC, there's not a nickel's worth of difference between the DNC and rhinos. They're all part of the same swamp, same oligarch, same everything. So obviously Jake the Tap Tapper has been given the signal from the power base within the Democratic Party. Give Alexandria Ocasio real questions and then point out that she can't answer them. So he starts projecting to her, listen, everything that you want to do, everything that you want to give away, this has got quite a hefty price tag. How are you going to pay for it?
Your platform has called for various new programs, including Medicare for all, housing as a federal right, a federal jobs guarantee, tuition-free public college, canceling all student loan debt. According to nonpartisan and left-leaning studies friendly to your cause, including the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities or the Tax Policy Center, the overall price tag is more than $40 trillion in the next decade. You recently said in an interview that increasing taxes on the very wealthy plus an increased corporate tax rate would make $2 trillion over the next 10 years. So where's the other $38 trillion going to come from?
Well, one of the things that we need to realize when we look at something like Medicare for all would save the American people a very large amount of money. And what we see as well is that these systems are not just pie in the sky. Many of them are accomplished by every modern civilized democracy in the Western world. The United Kingdom has a form of single-payer health care. Canada, France, Germany. What we need to realize is that these investments are better and they are good for our future. These are generational investments so that they're not short-term band-aids, but they are really profound decisions about who we want to be as a nation and how we want to act as the wealthiest nation in the history of the world.
Right. Now, I get that, but the price tag for everything that you've laid out in your campaign is $40 trillion over the next 10 years. I understand that Medicare for all would cost more to some wealthier people and to the government and to taxpayers while also reducing individual health care expenditures. But I'm talking about the overall package. You say it's not pie in the sky, but $40 trillion is quite a bit of money. And the taxes that you talked about raising to pay for this, to pay for your agenda, only count for two. And we're going by left-leaning analysts.
So Jake the Tap Tapper does a random act of real journalism there, and he's actually kind of going after a little bit like, okay, I hear everything you want to do. You still haven't explained how you're going to pay for it, and you can only, even with your tax increase, generate about $2 trillion in revenue. Where's the other $38 trillion coming from? And then, of course, she goes off on this litany laundry list. First of all, citing France. That was kind of bold. While France is like in flames right now between riots and terror attacks. And why do they have terror attacks or why do they have riots right now? Because the French people are overtaxed. The gasoline tax put them over the edge. Kind of like here when we were the original 13 colonies, it was the tea tax. That was it. That was it. Our forefathers, after they got a tax on their morning breakfast beverage, said, that's it. We're going to be free. We're going to be independent. So you've got France right now leaning and moving ever closer to the right and to a Donald Trump position because they can't handle the taxes. And why are the taxes so stinking high there? Because of their open borders and welcoming in all of these migrants and immigrants and Muslims. Well, now we've got terror attacks. And that, it drives up crime and it drives up cost. One creates the other. And apparently, she's not smart enough to put two and two together. She also referenced England, Great Britain. Yet, Great Britain votes out of Brexit. Great Britain moving now closer to the right and national populism, and they want to close their borders. Why? Because their taxes are going insane through the roof. And by the way, I'm sorry, what I'm about to say is going to sound so, I can't believe. Anybody ever see somebody from England smile that's got bad teeth? You know why? Because they don't have great dental over there. Nobody says that's dying here, I need to get on a plane and fly to Britain and get that life-changing operation. Nobody that's sick in Canada says, I'm going to stay right here in Canada because they know how to treat people. That's why I've got free health coverage. Every country she named, the people there that have money and means, when they got something really wrong with them, they want to come here. She does not understand that the private sector of healthcare is what drives the creativity and creates the revenue to experiment and expand and create even more treatment and medication. When you start treating medical procedures like it's the post office, you're going to get the same kind of service that you get at the DMV. Ask people in England how long it takes them to get a doctor's appointment. I mean, this naivete of people like Alexandria Ocasio Cortez is going to kill the rest of us. Not to mention her flaming just outright stupidity. She recently said at an event, fundraising event in New York City for Hanukkah, that she found out that she's got Jewish blood in her. Are you kidding me? So we got Elizabeth Warren, who still is sticking to the fact she's Pocahontas, and now Alexandria Ocasio Cortez is Jewish. You can't make this stuff up. What does she go to, like Temple Taco and Rabbi Abe Gonzalez is her rabbi? I mean, this is So once again, when Jake the Tap Tapper pressed her, how are you going to pay for this? Her answer just sort of drifts off into the twilight zone.
You say it's not pie in the sky, but $40 trillion is quite a bit of money. And the taxes that you talked about raising to pay for this, to pay for your agenda, only count for two. And we're going by left-leaning analysts.
Right. Well, when you look at how our healthcare works, currently we pay much of these costs go into the private sector. So what we see is, for example, a year ago, I was working downtown in a restaurant. I went around and I asked how many of you folks have health insurance. Not a single person did, because they would have had to pay $200 a month for a payment for insurance that had an $8,000 deductible. What these represent are lower costs overall for these programs. And additionally, what this is a broader agenda. We do know and we acknowledge that there are political realities. They don't always happen with just the wave of a wand, but we can work to make these things happen. And in fact, when you look at the economic activity that it spurs, for example, if you look at my generation, millennials, the amount of economic activity that we do not engage in, the fact that we delay purchasing homes, that we don't participate in the economy and purchasing cars, etc., as fully as possible, is a cost. It is an externality, if you will, of unprecedented amounts of student loan debt.
I'm assuming I'm not going to get an answer for the other $38 trillion.